So this is the next video on the Monera, Kingdom Monera, and in this video I will discuss about the eubacteria, that is the true bacteria, huh? That is evolve from the archaebacteria. Archaebacteria are the primitive living organism which are prokaryotic cells and very similar to the true bacteria. Clear? So I can say, in my point of view, that archaebacteria is like a ancestor for the true bacteria. Clear? So any living organism which are survive in that eras, uh, we are evolving from the earliest ancestor. Clear? Uh, so true bacteria which are present in the modern day, which are evolved by the archaebacteria. So that's why archaebacteria is known to be a pure primitive or bacteria, and eubacteria is known to the true bacteria which are evolved from the archaebacteria. These are eubacteria. Its domain is eukarya, and its kingdom is Monera, and the subkingdom is the eubacteria. Clear? So it is the subkingdom. Clear? So these eubacteria are the true prokaryotic living bacteria. Clear? So these are, it may be photosynthetic bacteria and non-photosynthetic bacteria, just like the archaebacteria. Clear? The in eubacteria, a specialized group of cells is known as a primitive bacteria, that is called cyanobacteria. The cyanobacteria are included in the eubacteria, and these cyanobacteria are the important bacteria which are continuously going to which are helping to reduce reduce the temperature and temperature, so that other kinds of organism can survive on the earth. So let's talk about the eubacteria in detail. First, eubacteria are the prokaryotic single-celled organism living modern living true bacteria. It is a typical eukaryotic cell and characterized by the cell wall, cell membrane, and cytoplasm with motile flagellum. Clear? Single is the flagellum, and plural is the flagella. Clear? So all eubacteria having the flagellum. Clear? But some archaebacteria are also having the flagella, but we have talked about the eubacteria. These are basically the unicellular cells, and they do not contain membrane bound structure. Clear? What I meant to say? I meant to say that it contains the organelles, but those organelles which are not surrounded any kind of membrane. Clear? So that's why these eubacteria having no membrane bound organelles in the cytoplasm. Clear? They are cosmopolitan in distribution. Cosmopolitan means they are present in everywhere. It may be present water, land, rock, air, and others. So that's why in a single term I will use the cosmopolitan. These are the cosmopolitan organism, and they are survive up to 0 degrees Celsius, from 0 degrees Celsius up to the 90 degrees Celsius, and even more. Clear? And they are most grow in the highest temperature. These are the bacteria. Some bacteria are grouped into the harmful bacteria, and some bacteria are grouped into the useful bacteria. We will talk about in the significance of the bacteria. So let's classify the eubacteria on the basis of their on the basis of their habitat, on the basis of their shape, nutrition. Clear? So first classification of the eubacteria on the basis of the shape. Clear? So we know that bacteria is a very microscopic smallest organism having the cellular structure. It may be single cell or multi cell. So not multi cell, it is a single cell. It is like a drop of water, and even a very small size compared to the drop, and the actual size the 5 into 10 k power 6 bacteria. So it is the measuring unit for the bacteria is micrometer. Clear? Micron. So this first bacteria is the bacteria classified on the basis of shape. Some bacteria having the rod shape, spherical shape, some are spiral shape, some are elongated and bacillus like shape. So this bacillus shape या rod shape bacteria are the look like the cylindrical and elongated cell. Clear? So you can see this is the elongated, or you can see the cylindrical cell there. It is the blunted edge. Clear? They are blunting edge. So these and the size average size of the bacillus bacteria is 1.5 micrometer to 0. Length is 0.5 micrometer in diameter. Example is the diplobacilli and streptobacilli. When two bacillus are contact to each other, that is called diplobacillus. You can see in this diagram 1 and 2 bacillus are found and joined together, that is called diplobacillus. And streptobacillus, whenever bacillus bacteria present in a chain like structure, that is called streptobacillus. You can see this is a streptobacillus bacteria. Next bacterial classification is on the basis of shape is the coccus. Coccus is the circular or small ball like structure. Clear? So it is and these are the ellipsoidal or spherical in shape, and they lack flagella. Bacillus having the flagella, but coccus never have flagella. Clear? That's why coccus like bacteria are the non-motile. What is the size of the coccus bacteria? It is the 0.5 to 1.5 micrometer in diameter. It may occur in a single pairs or in a chain or irregular shape. So whenever a single coccus present, that is called micrococcus, and whenever coccus present in a pair, means two coccus joint like bacillus, diplococcus bacteria, it is known as a diplococcus bacteria. Clear? Whenever coccus present attached one by one and form a chain like structure, that is called streptococcus. So irregular shape of coccus bacteria is called staphylococcus bacteria. So these are very specialized bacteria. And third shape of bacteria, that is spiral or helical bacteria. Those group of bacteria which are zigzag like or spring like structure, twisted structure, that is called a spiral or helical like structure. So whenever you can say this kind of structure shape of the bacteria is called helical or spiral bacteria, and they have flagella. It may be one flagella, it may have one flagella, two flagella, and other. Basically they have the two flagella at it may be present at one end or both end. Clear? So the size of the spiral bacteria, that is the 1.5 micrometer diameter in length up to 15 micrometer in length. Clear? They have one or more flagella at one pole, at one end, or both end. Next shape of the bacteria, group of the bacteria, that is comma shaped bacteria, that is called Vibrio. Vibrio cholera is the example of the comma shaped bacteria. It is just like a comma like structure. Clear? You can see this is the comma like structure, that the shape of the Vibrio. It is very resemble like the comma, and it having a single flagellum at the tip. And what is the size? Its size up to the 10 micrometer length. So these are the group of the bacteria classified on the basis of the shape: Bacillus, Coccus, spiral, and comma shaped bacteria. These are the group of the bacteria which are classified on the basis of shape. Now come on the second classification of the bacteria, that is classified on the basis of the nutrition. Clear? As we know that some true bacteria are the photosynthetic in nature, some are the non photosynthetic in nature, some are the chemosynthetic in nature. So on the basis of the nutrition, so there are three group of the bacteria, that is photoautotrophs bacteria, chemoautotrophs bacteria or chemotrophs, and heterotrophs. Clear? So these are the three categories of the bacteria on the basis of the nutrition. Phototrophs and chemotrophs performing the phototrophs bacteria performing the photosynthesis activity, means they produce on self food in the presence of the sunlight with the help of the chlorophyll pigment. Clear? So the good example of the photoautotrophs, or you can see that cyanobacteria, and these photoautotrophs. So let's the bacteria which capable of synthesizing their food by themselves in the presence of light, called photoautotrophs or phototrophs. Clear? If they obtain their energy by oxidizing chemical compound, means suppose any chemicals which are found on the land surfaces, and bacteria are also present. So some bacteria first oxidizing the chemical compounds and breaking the bond. So whenever breaking the bond occurs in the chemicals, they release the energy, and this energy, that is called chemical energy. Due to utilizing the chemical energy, some bacteria are used this chemical energy to synthesize their food. That kind of bacteria is called chemotrophs. Chemo is related to the chemicals which are release the chemical energy, and this chemical energy utilized by the bacteria to produce the foods. That's why it is known as, that kind of bacteria is called the chemoautotrophs. They are autotrophic in nature because they are producing their own their food on self, but with the help of chemical energy, that is called the chemoautotrophs. And those bacteria which are not synthesizing any kind of food themselves and dependence upon the other sources of the food, that is called heteroautotrophs. Clear? Heterotrophs. So let's talk about the phototrophic bacteria in detail. These bacteria are performing photosynthesis like the plants, green plants. Clear? So these are also acting and absorbing the solar energy and convert the solar energy into the chemical energy, and splitting the water molecules and performing the photosynthesis. Sorry for inconvenience the sound. This process is called genic photosynthesis, because during the evolution time there were the lack of the oxygen, so that bacteria performing photosynthesis in the absence of the oxygen. Clear? So that kind of photosynthesis is called anoxygenic photosynthesis. That is the important feature of the bacteria. So it is happen when life is evolved. Clear? So but some bacteria is also performing the oxygenic photosynthesis. Clear? So in the anoxygenic photosynthesis, what happen in this kind of photosynthesis? Suppose in the place of water, this bacteria obtain the reducing power from the hydrogen sulfide. Clear? We have know that नॉर्मल फोटोसिंथेसिस के लिए कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड वाटर की ज़रूरत होती है, लेकिन जब वाटर था ही नहीं उस समय में, तो बैक्टीरिया का क्या करते थे, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड नेचर में प्रेजेंट थे और उन्होंने कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को यूज़ किया एज अ रॉ मटेरियल के लिए, और साथ ही साथ हाइड्रोजन सल्फाइड यूज़ किया। और ये कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड हाइड्रोजन सल्फाइड और थायोसल्फेट और अदर हाइड्रोजन performing the photosynthesis in the absence of oxygen and producing the food for their growth, development and reproduction. Clear? So that's why this is called anoxygenic photosynthesis. I hope you will got my point. What is the example of photosynthetic bacteria? Green sulfur bacteria. Clear? Green sulfur bacteria are those group of bacteria which are the small non-motile rod-shaped bacteria. Means the shape is like coccus bacteria. So these are the non-motile. Clear? Small non-motile. Most feature, these are the non-motile and rod-shaped bacteria such as bacillus-like structure, not coccus, which are strictly found in the anaerobic condition. That's why this green sulfur bacteria are the non-anaerobic photoautotrophs. Clear? And it has the pigment like a chlorophyll, that is called chlorobium chlorophyll, which is which helping to trapping the energy, solar energy, and converting the solar energy into the chemical energy, and with this energy carbon dioxide and sulfur, hydrogen sulfur या sulfide, inorganic sulfur compounds converted into the foods, organic foods, which are utilized by the green sulfur bacteria for growth, development and reproduction. Clear? Next kind of photoautotrophic bacteria is the purple sulfur bacteria. These purple sulfur bacteria is having the pigment called bacteriochlorophylls. It is very similar to chlorophyll molecules. Clear? But it is present in the bacteria, that's why it is called bacteriochlorophylls pigment which are performing to trapping the solar energy and converting solar energy into the chemical energy, and with this energy carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide converted into the organic compounds which are the food of their of these purple sulfur bacteria. That is the photosynthetic activity. Next group of the photoautotrophs bacteria are the non-sulfur purple bacteria. These kind of bacteria are motile bacteria, and they have the example of these kind of bacteria is a rhodospirillum. It is a spiral like structure, clear, and it never accumulates sulfur within the cells, clear, and they have the photosynthetic pigment that is also called, that is same like purple sulfur bacteria, that is bacteriochlorophylls. These bacteriochlorophylls are similar to the purple sulfur bacteria, clear, and they can grow in the presence of oxygen like purple sulfur bacteria. Next group of bacteria, that is chemosynthetic bacteria. These are those bacteria which synthesize their own food with the help of chemical energy, clear. So these are also known as, it is known as a non photosynthetic bacteria because they are they are not a photosynthetic in nature, but it is a autotrophic in nature. That's why it is called a chemosynthetic bacteria. They derive energy from ammonia, nitrate, nitrite, hydrogen sulfide and other inorganic compounds which are present purely in the soil, in the landform. So these bacteria provides their gains their energy from that kind of inorganic compounds and synthesize their own food. That's why it is called chemoautotrophic bacteria. So on the basis of this substrate, these chemoautotrophs classified into the sulfur bacteria, iron bacteria, hydrogen bacteria, nitrifying bacteria. Sulfur bacteria are those bacteria which are occur in the sulfur containing terrestrial and aquatic environment, clear. Any area, any region where the sulfur concentration is high, that area occupied by the sulfur bacteria, and the example of sulfur bacteria is the Bagitova, clear. So Bagitova and Thiobacillus is the example of sulfur bacteria. They gain their energy by the oxidation of the reduced sulfur compounds. Next group of chemoautotrophic bacteria is the iron bacteria. Those bacteria which are inhabited those areas where the iron concentration is very high, clear. So ponds and springs where the iron deposition is very high, so bacteria, that kind of bacteria are found in that particular area, and they provide their energy from the ferrous compound, oxidized ferrous compound, clear. So these ferrous compounds provides the energy for bacteria to grow and divide and reproduce itself. Next group of chemoautotrophs bacteria are the hydrogen bacteria, and these example Hydrogenomonas bacteria, and these are found where the hydrogen concentration is very high in the like water and other. Nitrifying bacteria are those bacteria which are found in the soil, because in soil nitrogen compounds, nitrogen inorganic compounds are majorly found in the soil. That's why nitrifying bacteria are found in the soil surfaces. These are the very important bacteria because they balance the nitrogen composition in soil, and uh, they helping in the nitrogen recycling. Clear? So these soil borne obligate autotrophs incapable of growing in the absence of inorganic energy source, and they oxidized ammonia into the nitrate, and it is very useful for the plant growth, and so it is very economical useful bacteria. The group of bacteria, example is the Nitrosomonas, Nitrobacter. These are the good example of the nitrifying bacteria. The third group of the bacteria on the basis of nutrition is the heteroautotrophic bacteria. Those bacteria which are not produced, which are not synthesized their own food, and they are dependent to other for the food resources. So these are the known to be as decomposers. So decomposers are the heteroautotrophic bacteria, and they are helpful in the industrial level. So in industry, these bacteria are performing for producing the uh, curd, milk production, antibiotics, nitrogen fixation. So all these bacteria are the important bacteria. So nitrifying bacteria and heterotrophic bacteria, that means decomposers, are most important, economically important bacteria. Clear? These heterotrophic bacteria may be gram negative bacteria and gram positive bacteria. Gram negative bacteria are those heterotrophs includes the aerobic form, and example are the pseudomonas. Pseudomonas decompose a variety of organic compounds. Clear? Azotobacter is a free living nitrogen fixing microorganism. Azotobacter involving to fix nitrogen in the soil and helping in the growth and development of the plant organism. Clear? So this is very important, heteroautotrophs bacteria. The gram positive bacteria heterotrophs are including the spore forming bacilli. It is present in the aerobic condition, and it is active decomposers, and example is clostridium. Clear? Clostridium is good example of the gram positive bacteria. Next, the on the basis of the nutritional categories, heteroautotrophic bacteria further classified into the parasite bacteria, saprophytic bacteria, symbiotic bacteria. Parasite bacteria are those bacteria which are found in the cells of the other living organism. Clear? So we have sometimes we have also parasitic bacteria due to the unhygiene condition. Whenever we use the contaminated water and food, some heterotrophic parasitic bacteria are ingested by us. So that group of the bacteria is Streptococcus, Clostridium, Mycobacterium, tuberculosis, which are so harmful bacteria. Streptococcus, Clostridium are harmful. Mycobacterium, tuberculosis, involving a specialized a disease that is called TB. Clear? Tuberculosis diseases are caused by the mycobacterium. And what is the sources of this bacteria into our the body? It is the unhygiene or contaminated food and water. Whenever we intake the we consume the contaminated water and food, that particular kinds of bacteria, parasitic bacteria, enter in our the intestine and causing the diseases that is called TB. It is in fact to the lungs. Other kinds of parasitic bacteria that are found inside the plant cells and causing the diseases, such diseases like citrus canker. Clear. So these are the important parasitic bacteria which are caused diseases in the cells and invading inside the cells, plant cells. Next, parasitic bacteria which are found inside the animals like pneumonia, typhoid, and these are the pathogenic bacteria. So in whole, we can say that parasitic heterotrophic bacteria are the pathogenic nature. Clear. It causes the disease in plants, animals and human beings. Next class of the heterotrophic bacteria, that is saprophytic bacteria. These are the bacillus mycoids, and these are grow on the dead and decaying organic matter. If any food substances or food stuffs are found, and sometime in that foods, these saprophytic bacteria are survive and growing, colonized. They obtained their food by decomposing the organic food into the simpler organic constituent. Clear. So these are the saprophytic bacteria. Now symbiotic bacteria is most important economical bacteria that is very useful for plants and bacteria. It is the relationship between the plants and bacteria. So these are the beneficial for the other living organism. Clear. So this symbiosis is the beneficial association. It is the type of communication. Clear. So these bacteria are inhabiting inside the intestine of the man and animals. And example अगर हम कहें तो मैंस और ह्यूमन बींग्स में ई कोलाई प्रेजेंट होता है. that is not a symbiotic, but still it is not harmful. So this kind of bacteria secreting the enzymes to digest the cellulose, and they obtain their food from the host, such as a plant. Root nodules bacteria such as rhizobium, these are present in the roots of the some pea plants. Clear. So leguminous plant or pea plants having their roots having the rhizobium bacteria, which actually associate with the leguminous plant to fix the nitrogen. Clear. And it is very important, these symbiotic bacteria are very important for the living organism. Next, eubacteria, that is classified on the basis of mode of respiration. Clear. So there are the obligate aerobes, strict obligate anaerobes bacteria, and facultative bacteria. These are the bacteria which are respires in the, or either absent in the air or present on the air. Next, we will going to discuss the bacterial cells in the next video.